Here with men's basketball head coach Ben Miller, UNCP, the fastest start in school history now, 13-1 after a 65-55 victory over USC Aiken tonight. Coach, what you said and what I thought coming in, it wasn't a pretty one, but you came out with a W.
Yeah, any win in the Peach Belt's a good win, but give them a lot of credit. They lost 10 seniors, but they really did a good job recruiting. They got a really talented team and a very scrappy team. Regardless of who suits up for Aiken, they're going to play hard, and they made it really difficult on us to get good shots. And we missed a lot of shots, but they had a lot to do with that too. They kind of had us sped up. We didn't finish well in the paint, especially the first half. Second half, we settled down a little bit. But they weren't going to go away. They battled for 40 minutes.
Let's look at the team numbers in this one. UNCP, 40% shooting for the game, 45.2% in the second half. USC Aiken, you held them to just 30% shooting for the game, 28% in the first in the second half. Forced 24 turnovers. Of course, a lot of them were unforced on both ways. 42 combined turnovers. You got to be happy with your defensive effort in the second half.
Yeah, that's one thing about this team. I do feel like our defensive identity is much better than it was a year ago, where even when shots aren't going in, it's nice to know that you can still hang in there and have a chance. Hopefully we'll shoot a little bit better, right. But you got to be able to win games when shots aren't falling.
Now, talk about I mentioned this already previously, but 13-1, fastest start in school history. The last team to start off this quick finish 27-5. I know I ask you this every game, but talk about the confidence level that your team's playing with right now. Obviously, when things aren't going their way on a night like tonight, they still find ways to win games.
Yeah, I like our collective toughness and leadership. And it really showed tonight when it was an ugly game at times both ways. But I think the defense on both sides had a lot to do with that. But, last year, we weren't able to get over the hump in those games, but I think our defensive confidence is the biggest change.
Now, three guys, double-figure scoring nights tonight. Start with Brandon Winford, 12 points, 6 of 12 shooting. Finishes, again, a rebound shy of a double-double. You have Quamaine Rose, 14 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. He also did have 6 costly turnovers, something that you don't like to see. A guy I want to talk about right now, Ben Jacobs, 13 points, 8 rebounds. Had 4 steals, 3 blocks, 1 assist tonight. He really had a great game for you.
Yeah, he's a warrior out there. He's going to battle, and he impacts the game in a lot of ways. He can obviously score and rebound, but what he did defensively was also very, very impressive.
Now you complete. I said this to your women's basketball counterpart earlier. You get rewarded for a long homestand by taking a brutally long road trip to Montevallo, a team that you know that you haven't had much success with against the past. What's the key to beating this team, especially a Montevallo team that's been heating up lately?
Well, it's a quick turnaround. Tomorrow, or actually probably later tonight, we'll start looking at a little more film on them. The staff's looked ahead a little bit, but I can't really do that. So I know personnel and their style of play and what they do hasn't really changed over the years. They're a great team. I think in Brown, they got one of the best players in the country, but they got a lot of good players around him too. So and Danny Young, who's a great coach. So it's a road win or a road opportunity in the Peach Belt. They're all going to be difficult. We'll go out there and just compete as hard as we can, see what happens.
Now, finally, before I let you go, something you like to talk about. You got your taste of the students started coming back tonight. You got your taste of what it might be like when you come back on January 19th against Clayton State. Talk about the crowd tonight.
They were great. I mean, class out of session, we get 1,800 people here. That was fantastic. I saw a lot of UNCP students back. Cheerleaders were back, and then we had a lot of students from the community. I think Scott Warner's done a great job of promoting our games, and having those kind of numbers over break is a tribute to him and Dick Christie, what they've done to really market and promote. And you guys, of course, do a great job as well with our sports information. So I think getting the word out and awareness and having some promotion nights like this really helps. But our students, the community's been great, and I think we got the best environment in the Peach Belt.